When the Pacers traded for Pascal Siakam in January of last year, many people including me had questions about how exactly he would fit in Indiana's high-paced offense. But after making the conference finals in back-to-back years, and currently about to advance to the finals, there's no doubt that acquiring Pascal Siakam was the right move. But why exactly is he such a great fit for the Pacers? Now physically, Siakam doesn't really possess elite quick twitch explosiveness, but at 6'8 and weighing just under 250, he does have the size to physically overwhelm smaller guards and wings. Because the Pacers have both an up and down and screen heavy offense, Pascal pretty commonly gets these cross matchups, where he can then take them on the block and bully them like an older sibling. When getting a mismatch, Pascal is great at working for position before he catches the ball. Watch him here dunk in and move Gary Trent underneath the basket, setting up this easy catch and finish. And Pascal also has a really good feel of space and where he wants to get to. Look how the defense is trying to front him, but he still has all this room to catch and turn into an in-rhythm jumper.
Dumping it in, Siakam turns and hits.
And probably my favorite part about Siakam's game is that there's absolutely no fat to his scoring. Whenever he catches, he always knows where the space is, and he wastes no time getting there. One thing the Pacers will do a lot of is just clear out one side of the floor to let him work. And before he receives the ball, notice how Siakam is already opening up his stance, setting up this rip through to his left. We can see the same thing here, with the Pacers again clear out the strong side corner, and right on the catch, Siakam is already turning towards the baseline. But then along with these quick and direct moves, Siakam also has great pace with the ball. Look how he has the mismatch against Brunson, and Mitchell Robinson is going to shift across the paint to provide extra help. And notice how Siakam is going to use his eyes to sell the skip pass, and he moves Robinson off his spot. And from here, he automatically knows that he has all the space to turn into.
Spins off Brunson with a nice fake, the collision.
When playing in the mid or low post, I also think Siakam has really underrated footwork. I wouldn't say he's at the level of a Nikola Jokic, but he does have a great feel of leverage and stepping through traffic. He's going to feel Max Strus throwing his weight around. So Pascal in response is going to step across the paint, setting up this drop step back to his left. We'll see him pretty much make the same move going the opposite way, where he works his way across the paint to his left to then pivot back to his right. And again, that footwork also extends out to the mid post. Watch him here catch and open up, selling that rip through to the baseline, but he instead hits this jab step and explodes through contact. And then along with being able to play downhill, Siakam also has an elite in-between pull-up game, which he can easily get to if the defense crowds the paint. And similar to what we saw with his paint scoring, Siakam's footwork and feel of leverage also plays a big factor to his mid-range scoring. If the defense tries to pull the chair to get him off balance, Siakam has the stability to easily elevate for his jumper. But if the defense is being physical and holding their ground, he also has no problem bumping and turning into shots. One of his go-to moves has been the shoulder bump into a step back, where he initiates contact with that inside shoulder first, then pushes off that inside foot to separate back. We'll see him here slightly bump OG back, to then also hop back, creating this window to elevate. And then if the ball is in his right hand, he typically likes to get this bump spin over his left shoulder. Watch him here work OG across the paint, to then again initiate contact and turn over that left shoulder. And then with the ball, Siakam also has the ability to initiate offense from the perimeter. I wouldn't say he has the craziest handle, but he does have the ball control and pace to chisel his way to the basket, plus get to that in-between scoring bag. We'll see him here rip to his right, to then effortlessly flow into this spin and step back towards his left. And Siakam loves to face up when he's matched up with slower footed bigs, because with that quickness advantage, it's easier for him to leverage that driving game to push the defense back, making it easier for him to create separation. I love the footwork and balance on this move, where Pascal is going to put the ball down and float out to his right, setting up this crossover back to his left. And then right after he exchanges the ball, he's going to immediately pick up for a right-left jumper. This move here is tough, where Siakam is going to rip to his right off the catch, and when he feels Giannis open up his stance, Siakam is going to slam the brakes by sliding it between, and he gets Giannis folding over like a lawn chair. So with the ball in the half court, Siakam has the build and skill set to be a very reliable scorer. He's got the size to take advantage of mismatches, the footwork and shot making to score in the mid-range, Plus he has the ball skills on the perimeter to cook slower defenders. Now Siakam has also been doing a good chunk of his scoring out in transition, and when playing with the head of steam, that body control and footwork makes him really tough to deal with. First, out in the open floor, Siakam loves to charge up and initiate contact, and he's got the control to bump and gather for 1-foot finishes, or he can initiate contact and then play off 2 feet.
The collision into Towns.
With the ball, Siakam also has a variety of pickups and strides that he likes to use to slice past defenders trying to build up a wall. We'll see him here push the ball across to his right, while simultaneously gathering off that left foot, and he's going to flow into a right-left Euro step. And like we've gone over, this high-paced offense makes it really tough for the defense to get matched up. So this again gives Siakam matchups to attack in early offense. And this is where everything comes back to that footwork and efficient scoring. Now obviously a majority of the Pacers offense is being run through Tyrese Haliburton and their other guards. So how exactly does Pascal fit when playing off the ball? First, Siakam this postseason is shooting 44% from 3, which is a career high for him both in the playoffs and regular season. And most of these looks for him are just your typical spot-up threes, where Indiana's rim pressure or cutting forces a breakdown, leading to these standstill looks. And it can't be overstated how valuable this has been for Indiana's spacing and offensive flow. And because the defense now has to respect Pascal as a perimeter threat, that now makes it easier for him to initiate drives off the catch. And with both the floor being spaced out, and his man aggressively scrambling to the 3, there's pretty much always an open paint for him to slice into. And that combination of outside shooting and off the dribble scoring also makes Siakam a really effective screen and roll man, where he can pop out behind the line and drain 3s, as well as put the ball down to attack the paint, or get into his mid-range game.
They've just gone away from what's worked for them here tonight.
Siakam.
So Pascal being a 3-level scoring threat as the roller pretty much makes the two-man game with Haliburton impossible to guard. If you play heavy drop, you're giving Tyrese open 3s. If you switch, you're then going to have a mismatch on the perimeter or in the paint. But then if you blitz, you're then going to have to deal with Siakam catching and playing in open space. When playing off the ball, I also think Pascal's a really underrated cutter. If his man falls asleep or gets too honed in on the ball, he's great at moving to open spots to set up easy catch and finishes. Look how Dean Wade loses track of him for a split second. And from the logo, Pascal has the quickness to cut past him for an easy finish. When moving off the ball, Siakam also has a really good feel of spacing and where the defense is shifting. I love this read here, where Haliburton is playing in pick and roll on the left slot, and when Turner catches here, look how Giannis is going to shift over towards the ball, and instead of staying glued up on the perimeter, Pascal is going to cut into the lane for the short jumper. So in throwing together Siakam's one-on-one scoring, ability to get out and run in transition, while also providing a ton of value off the ball with his shooting and cutting, you're then left with a player who has the perfect build for playoff basketball, and his presence on the court has been one of the biggest driving forces to Indiana's success. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.